91% of people contact an agent to sell their home. This guy didn't. A tech journalist just ran a $600,000 experiment. He sold his house using a $7 a month chatbot. Hi, I'm V. I read this article so you don't have to, but if you want to, I linked it below. Today we're taking a look at an article from the New York Times, authored by Stuart A. Thompson, a tech journalist. The article is wild. This guy tries to sell his family's home without a real estate agent. He will only use AI, and his entire family's life savings is on the line. So let's get into it. The journalist that's writing this article for the New York Times says he and his wife actually bought their 3-bedroom upstate New York ranch for about $520,000 roughly 40 years ago. And then they wanted to sell it because they were expanding their family, a very typical reason why someone might want to sell their house. Initially, they did what the 91% of all people do, is they wanted to hire an agent, a real estate agent. So they called them real people, real humans for real skills, and set up appointments to interview them. As they are interviewing these agents, they're mentioning that they think they could maybe get $550,000 off of the house, make a small profit. He writes in the article that most of the agents he met with kind of just shrugged and said, sure, yeah, they're somewhat in agreement. Maybe seems to be the sentiment. One agent, though, told him that their broker's algorithm even put them below the market for what they paid for it. So one agent is telling them they might just lose money altogether. A different agent supposedly leaned on their kitchen counter during the tour and said, you're probably gonna lose money. And take a guess at what you think this agent that is telling them you're gonna lose money is going to charge them for their help to sell their house at a loss. Over $30,000. That's the you're probably gonna lose money consultation pitch. You're gonna probably lose money and I'm gonna charge you $30,000 to do it. At this point in the article, when this guy is leaning on my counter telling me that my house isn't even worth what I paid for my house, I do start to kind of feel bad for Stuart here. Thompson starts to wonder, why is he going to pay somebody a large sum of money only to potentially sell his home at a loss? There has to be a different way. And he's thinking, as a tech reporter, maybe he will use technology. And in this case, he opts for AI. He chooses the AI route. And he's not alone. We'll get there too. And at this point in the article, I'm thinking, wow, this is gonna go pretty bad, I think. But I'm also sort of forced into understanding Stuart's position just a little bit, and again, hear me out. What is the most frictionless way that you might learn how to do something that you have never done before? You probably just answered the question saying that you would go to Google. And maybe from Google, you might find your way to a library or something like that. But let's be honest, most people will find themselves talking to a chatbot, and that thing is pretty dumb. But if they don't find themselves with that chatbot, they'll probably find themselves in some other specialized marketed bot that does fit this given need, right? For selling houses, a real estate bot. But let's get back to Thompson and see what actually happens in his story. He asked the chatbot to write a listing description, and the AI does the thing. And Thompson describes his output as a glowing prose, describing an inspiring place flooded with light, perfect for bird lovers. Specific. He texts this to his wife. She says in response to this AI description, quote, yeah, damn, lol. And that's when he decides, no agent, he's gonna be doing this with AI. His wife has agreed. His wife does ask though, quote, can we really do that? We don't know anything, and she is coming off as a skeptic. He seems blindly confident, not very skeptic at all. And his response is as bad as it sounds. He says, quote, just trust me. AI can handle it. Just trust me. Just trust me, bro. Just trust me, babe. AI can handle it, is what he said. Absolute cinema. I mean, think about it. This man is going to be betting $500,000 that he can do this on vibes and AI. But this is what happens when housing becomes a priority commodity for wealth accumulation instead of what it should be, which is just shelter. I keep thinking and asking, do you think he is wrong for doing this in this way? I loathe AI. I really don't like it. I hate the way it's set up. It harms so many things in its orbit. It benefits mostly the scummiest, most wealthiest billionaires out there, and it mostly negatively impacts the users of it. But this man trying to sell his house, the man from the story, he's using Gemini $7.99 a month, which in this scenario is the clear, I don't know, better option than spending $30,000. Now, this story is definitely interesting, and there's a lot left. This next part is kind of like a train crash, so yeah. Let's keep going. He starts using the AI. He writes this line, quote, once I started using AI, I couldn't stop. He couldn't stop. And instantly, he writes, spanning 3 weeks, he asked the AI hundreds of questions about staging advice, photo order, listing language, and the AI kept telling him what exactly to do here. Lead with exterior, then the kitchen, and then the floor plan. And he's planning to publish the listing through a service called HomeCoin. He starts using the AI. He writes this line, quote, "Once I started using AI, I couldn't stop." Such a surreal story. I always thought in order to do any of this, you needed licenses from several places, I think. For example, for me to teach here in California, it's not enough just to have a degree in English education. I have to have a credential. I also have to be CPR certified. It's like a lot of credentials and certifications that all kind of are accumulative here. I kind of thought the same thing for real estate agents, but I digress. And so far, this man has spent $7 on Gemini and $200 to list on HomeCoin. Meanwhile, to do all of this, he would have had to spend to that real estate agent leaning on his counter telling him that his house is worth not a lot, $30K. The story goes on. The listing goes live on Thursday. By that afternoon, a flooding of viewing for bookings arrived. Yeah, it's working. It's alive. Thompson writes now that he is so overwhelmed managing the appointments that he just let the chatbot handle all of it. Every email from every buyer's agent, he copied it into Gemini, took whatever it replied, and then posted it back to them. I really hope that he has read all of that thoroughly because it does kind of sound like, again, he is risking a lot here. Considering AI's inability to ensure its thoroughness and accuracy in any output, you gotta read everything. But pause. What do you think about all of this so far? Because this is an absolutely wild story. My jaw was dropped from the beginning. Okay, let's keep going. One agent had called Thompson to say that a client was preparing a quick cash offer. Thompson then rushes to the chatbot and he types in, including his own typos here and everything. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Do I need to address anything like, I'm not playing any games, or I'm not trying to leverage your offer, or anything? Thompson says the AI responded and he describes it like this. It was the AI equivalent of getting slapped in the face. Yeah, here's the quote. Whatever you do, do not say, I'm not playing games. In negotiation, as soon as someone says that, the other party immediately thinks, oh, they're definitely playing games. And it creates defensive vibes. It makes you look like an amateur who feels guilty about wanting more money. And honestly, it's true. And he got it in the middle of a very heightened moment for him, right? Thompson, riddled with typos, probably very anxious, right? He didn't get any judgment. Now, if you would have done that with a real estate agent, I'm sure that it would have felt a lot different. The story continues, and by Friday evening, Thompson is writing about his anxiousness because it is working, and now there's 20 viewings that are booked for the weekend. He confesses to his chatbot that he's worried that they have underpriced the house, and the chatbot tells him that pricing lower to trigger multiple offers. And this is a very real thing that happens. It is a somewhat proven strategy, and the chatbot reminds Thompson this, quote, when you get 1,100 views and 91 saves, you haven't just listed a house. You started a localized gold rush. This is stupid AI speak for pretty much saying your house is the cheapest in the neighborhood. Of course, people are going to want to take a look at it and see what gives, because this is an outlier. And back to his wife during all of this, because at this point, she is a little bit annoyed and tells him that it seems like he's trusting the chatbot more than he is trusting his own wife. He doesn't share in the article exactly what led up to this moment, but he does share what he responded to his wife when being accused with this. He says, quote, she was right. He admits it. That is his reality. He does trust the chatbot more than his wife in this moment. I'm trying to see it from his view, and I guess what they're seeing is this chatbot legitimately working in real time in front of them. They couldn't do the thing, so they had to find something that could. To them, and especially Thompson in this scenario, AI is the authority here. Now hold on to that detail, because I think this AI as authority is the most interesting thing in the whole piece that we're definitely coming back to. And Thompson writes something here that I find most alarming in the article. Quote, that night, I tried to write a simple email thanking an agent, but I stumbled over the words that suddenly felt awkward and jumbled. I replaced what I wrote with a chatbot version. His words are not holding up anymore. They are not hitting the same. They don't even look right to him. So quickly, the confidence just sucked out of this man, right? The positive outcomes from the chatbot were so good. They hit these high moments so good. Now, he's not even sure he can stack up. This is cognitive surrender, because an AI tool that's performing well, popping off, giving you amazing results right now is not guaranteed to be able to be replicated. We know that. This is a fascinating case study. Thompson's story might feel like a one-off right now, but it's not. It's not just real estate. This is happening in all kinds of industries that have these bots that are tailored to do the thing. Thompson might not be so naive about this. He points out that the chatbot made one really big mistake worth mentioning. The bot told him to advertise the commission to buyers' agents at 0%, which apparently is against the rules under a 2024 legal settlement. And he only caught that because when he uploaded it to the website, they actually flagged it internally. So it was really the platform at the end of the day that really protected him, not like the AI catching its own mistake or anything like that. It is a weird situation and a fascinating case study. Let's continue. The weekend showings happen. There is lots of rejection. Thompson reports that his mood absolutely is low. It crashes here. He's convinced that the house won't sell at all. So he talks with his chatbot, which gives him a pretty cold answer. Just wait for it, man. It's gonna happen when it happens. And Thompson writes something really interesting in response to this. He reflects on that moment when the chatbot sort of coldly brushed him off and said, just wait, bro. He says at that moment, he yearned for a human empathy. But then wait, Monday at 5 p.m. rolls around, momentum is spiking, and all of a sudden, he's got 3 offers, all above asking. He enters negotiation. He is terrified once again, as the human he is, right? His physiological responses are kicking in. He's terrified. He describes this moment as him having, quote, sweaty palms, as if he's asking for a better table at a restaurant, which is a crazy way to describe this, but I get where he's coming from. He's anxious. It's manifesting. He uploads the offers into the chatbot. The AI picks the offer that is slightly lower, but with cleaner terms. Thompson agrees to this offer alongside his wife. Then he has an idea. What if he asks the buyer to cover their own agent's commission, 2%? Because if he didn't have to pay it, that would be another $12,000. He and his wife absolutely go for it with the assistant of the AI, and the buyer accepts this offer, this counter offer, almost instantly. And let's go all the way back to the beginning of the story where the wife asked him, right? Like, can we really do this? We don't know anything. And his answer was, trust me, bro, we have AI. She was a skeptic, and now, again, being confronted, and they have to grapple with this, that it worked. He says here he actually did have to hire a lawyer, a human one, for a small fee, and he doesn't tell us what that fee is, but he goes on to tell us some other numbers. They accepted an offer for a little over $600,000. Thompson didn't have to pay agents upwards of $30,000. Thompson claims he's learned a lot during this process. So much so he wants to put it to a benchmark. He calls his local real estate friend Richard Vizzini. He's got over a decade of experience in local real estate, so he knows he could probably trust this guy to get an outside perspective, a grade on this whole experiment. He wants a pass or fail from a professional, and as a teacher, I get that. Thompson asks Vizzini, did I actually blow it? Could I have gotten even more? Vizzini says, I'm guessing the sale price of $650,000 or more. Okay, so that is obviously above what Thompson sold it for, but even if Vizzini was right, even if money was left on the table, Thompson says this: the only people who would have gained from a higher price of sale were the agents themselves. So it kind of feels like Thompson is trying to convince himself that, that's not that bad. He says at the end of the piece, he's not sure if maybe someone less tech savvy than him would be able to recreate this exact experiment in the way that he did it. He says at the end of the article that he totally understands that some people just want a professional in their corner, and I get that because I hate AI. I'm never going to trust it with any big serious decision like that. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that Thompson, during the journey, discovered and learned of a guy from Florida who sold his home using AI for $100,000 more than an agent told him was possible during his journey. The real estate agent in that local area responded to the story to the other guy with outrage, writing again that the seller had potentially lost up to $225,000 by listing too low and accepting an offer too quickly. Oof. Again, AI is not perfect. In fact, I'd argue that most AI is categorically bad and dumb. I think you could probably do this better if you took the time and had the time to allot, but that is a privileged time that not everybody is afforded. The article ends with Thompson doing some crazy work. He actually calls the owners of the new house, the ones that bought his house, and he wants to ask them a question. The new owners of his house apparently have this very long-term relationship with their realtor. They know their kids, the family, and all of that. And the new owners of his old house don't have have any regret of using their realtor at all. As most of the 91% of people that use real estate agents to sell their home, they don't really have regrets at all about it. In fact, a lot of people feel safer using the skill sets of humans and be able to talk to a human directly. I digress. Thompson has him on the phone and asks this question: if they would consider using AI to sell the house, if they ever wanted to do that. The owner of the new house almost instantly answers, yes, if it would help me save thousands of dollars without hesitation. I didn't see that coming. With the whole, I have a personal relationship with my real estate agent, I just didn't see it coming. Thompson's last and final line of the entire article, he quotes this. He turned to the final phase of his relocation. He logs into the chatbot. He poses another question. I need to buy a house, and I'm doing it without an agent. Where do I start? Of course he does. Of course he's going to use the AI agent to now find a new house. But here's where I keep coming back to. This whole story that is absolutely gassed at my flabbers, boggled the mind. He was told that he was going to lose money. Why on earth would you pay money to know you will lose the money? But what is the cost of working so intimately with these AI bots, not using the real estate agents? This bot, remember, can't even guarantee its own accuracy. These are some big questions, and this was a wild story. The link to the full Thompson article can be found below in the description. It is worth the read. Until next time, bye.